Good evening, afternoon, good morning. Chris here with Savvy Pants Shop, independent LuLaRoe retailers. We are excited because we do a program for our ladies. I thought I had a catchy name to it, but I didn't have enough coffee today. We've got a name. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you what it is later. Where we've got access to some remarkable people in this world. And one of them is the person that we have on here, Mega Marty. Yeah. And Mega Marty is a genius when it comes to it comes to a lot of things, but he's a genius that I'd like to share some of this wisdom with you. So if you're a follower of our YouTube channel, you very well may end up buying LuLaRoe clothing. Totally get that. We're independent LuLaRoe retailers. And we found that a lot of ladies that follow our group are on different journeys, some of which are nutrition journeys, body transformation journeys, or maybe even competitive journeys in fitness, figure, bikini, whatever. And I've known Mega Marty for a little while. He's phenomenal. He's exceptionally good at what he does. So I thought I would introduce him to our family of people here at Savvy Pants Shop. And this is our second version, our second maybe vlog, we'll call this because it sounds cool. And wanted to get Mega Marty back on again, and we're gonna ramble. We're gonna talk about some really interesting things. Mega Marty, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me back, Chris. I appreciate it, and don't flatter me too much now. Like I said, no, just don't. That's too nice. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You know what? It's practical. I'll blow your own, toot your horn for you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
I asked you kind of what you had going on this weekend. Can you give the people just a really quick snapshot of what your week looks like?
Yeah, sure thing. So I have a bodybuilding show that I'm going to be the MC of on Saturday. That's a morning and a night show. And then in between that, there is actually a model search. And this is the first time they're ever doing this here. So David Ford, one of the photographers, he's internationally acclaimed. He's been ringside UFC. He's one of the best in the business. He's doing a model search too, along with the federation that I'm going to be emceeing it for. So in between, so there's there's two types of rounds. There's like we'll call it how you look round, and then like also a fitness attire round. So brand new, really cool. He literally just asked me today, said, "Hey man, you're going to be there. Do you want to MC the model search as well?" So I said, "Sure." So, and that's cool too, because actually I've got two clients in that, and I didn't know that they didn't know I was going to be the MC because I didn't. So now it's cool. So I was like, by the way, I'll be introducing you, fam. But and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's so good." It's like, yeah. So I've got that. So my week is busy. I will end up going down there Friday afternoon, and I'll go to the athletes meeting, kind of check on everybody, and then do some final touches, we'll say, on the competitors, make sure that they're all scrubbed up, happy. And then, I wake up super early because I think one of my girls has her hair and makeup at 5 in the morning. So I'll be up going, "Yeah, you look good." Or, "No, you look terrible." Of course they'll look good because they're coaching with me, right? So, hey, so I'll be doing that. And then, so this whole week, so now I've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be just preparation. I have, for the last week, I have my girls and guys text me every morning, photos, kind of a mini update. How are you? How are your bowel movements? Oh, we go there. We have to. And so, just to kind of fit photos every day with their poses every day, just to keep right on top of them. Cause this is their week, right? Like I don't have too many local shows at all, but this is why I'm there. This last week is just keep them calm, keep them happy, fly the ship as best as we can, and just have them show up on show day as stress-free as possible.
So this is kind of like a crunch time for you. One of the weeks that's really tricky because you've got competitors. So Mega Marty is an expert in his field of online nutrition and contest prep coaching.
That's right.
Which is pretty remarkable to do that. As we talked about in the previous podcast, the ability to do that online is nothing less than a lot of hard work and years and years and years of knowledge, which is kind of what led us into sort of what we're going to talk about today. Some of the general, I don't know what you call them, the everything from the Hollywood diet cookie or whatever.
Sure. Yep. Exactly. We'll call them the popular diet models or something like that.
Yeah,
for sure. Yep.
Exactly. And I think it's kind of it's not something that when people get to your point, I think they're probably a long ways past thinking that you can tape a pill to your forehead and you're going to wake up in contest prep form. But
That's what I got on the initial questionnaire too, is what have you done? Oh, it's like, have you tried Atkins? Have you tried the Zone diet? Have you tried the Mediterranean diet? Have you done Jenny Craig, LA weight loss? Have you done any of those things, right? Because that'll really assist me and to go, okay, what have you done? And then if they say yes, what worked, what didn't? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? And then that can help me really build their own kind of customized program, right? Because if someone enjoys XYZ, I'm probably going to sneak XYZ in there unless it's something that's really detrimental to their look or their health, for sure.
Gotcha. Now, so when some people do that, and I don't know what you get on your surveys, if there's like a handful of things that come up to be very common, is there one way, are there a lot of things that you have to unwind in the thought process?
In terms of for them, a bit, yeah. There's a lot of still misconceptions about you have to work out for hours on end. There's still lots of that. There's still lots of you have to starve to get anywhere. There's still lots of that. There is still the notion of you have to be extremely limited in your nutrition choices. There's still lots of that. Lots of you have to kill yourself with cardio. It's the same thing with the workouts, right? But and then still carbohydrates. I don't think that now there's been this gigantic resurgence of pretty much right when I met you, ketogenic diets were on the rise, right? Like the higher fat, medium to high protein, low to no carb approach has made this big rise. And so that's still a definitely thing is like, oh, can I only lose fat if my carbohydrates are super low? Which is no, that's, I'm actually my personal preference and how I will diet someone if they give me kind of full reign is to keep carbohydrates higher and kind of lower them on fats. And the reason why is because fats do have 9 calories per gram, whereas carbohydrates have 4 calories per gram. So you got to think that's more than double the amount of calories per gram of fat, and that can add up like crazy, which is why your sauces like Alfredo, like you have like, oh my gosh, right, can skyrocket the living crap out of your caloric total, which is gonna, it ultimately does boil down to how much are you consuming, right? And those sneaky little jerks can get in there, the fats, right? So that's, I'll preferentially have them tone that down unless they really do enjoy a ketogenic approach, which is very, very few people will come and say that they enjoy that as a lifestyle. It's just, it's like I said, it's popular right now, which is fine and dandy. And if you really enjoy that, keep going with it. Just as long as your micronutrients, like we talked about beforehand here, they have to be met. Like you need to make sure that all your vitamins and minerals are being obtained through your diet or through some way, through supplements if you really even need them.
Yeah. Okay. And I think the ketogenic diet, I think is one of the things that I talked to you about like early on.
That's right.
Gosh, that was almost a year ago now, I guess, or two? I don't know.
2 years ago, man. Like a year and a half, almost 2. Yeah.
2 years ago. I think it was a powder by Prove It, I think was the name of the company. And
that's right.
You drink the shake and it's supposed to keep you in ketogenic state for a period of time, right? Is that kind of how that worked?
Yep. So funny enough, those have actually been on the rise now since Prove It and other companies have you've been using the products. They've this kind of taken off. Now the mainstream supplement lines have started introducing, it's called BHB. The main component was beta hydroxybutyrate, which was it was exogenous ketones, so a little mini science lesson is that when your body does not have enough sugar for you to propel your brain, if you're on using something like a ketogenic diet, your body will turn fats into something called ketone bodies. And that's what keeps your brain going when the absence of sugar. So what this BHB was trying to do was to provide the ketones to the body, just like as in when you give yourself a sugar high, like if you have sugar, it can pick you up. Yep. This was the point, was just it was the fat version of carbohydrates was this BHB. And then, so that was it, was to either get you into ketosis faster, which is running off of these ketone bodies, or to provide you kind of that instant fuel to, either start your workout, start your day, keep yourself going. Yeah.
So in the keto diet, that is kind of and periodically these things all take these cycles of, I don't know if it starts with marketing originally or it gets into the cycle and then all of a sudden everything has got to be keto now. Everything had to be Atkins and then everything had to be, whatever.
The 90s was low fat, right? And then kind of the mid 2000s when Atkins came along, and that was of just a popular fancy name for the ketogenic diet. And then it kind of went to gluten, then it went to dairy, and now for whatever reason, it's back to low carbs is the way to go again. And it's wild to see and I bet you it is some way in some form marketing driven, right? Well, I even remember there was omega-3 pasta. I'm like, what is fish oil and grain pasta? I'm like, what is this is just, but it was everything. And that's where they kind of pivoted to, like, how many things do you see on menus now say gluten-free option?
Right.
It's everywhere, right? But 10 years ago, that didn't exist.
Right.
Now
it's kind of like gets into the kind of like goji berries and acai and all those things. Like it shows up on Dr. Oz, and then all of a sudden there's all these pills available for.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's where those ketone supplements now, even though if they don't work, like let's say it's underdosed or something like that, which a lot of them are, it doesn't matter. As soon as they see keto something, okay, good. That's what's in right now. Like that's got to work. Right. And so we see
organic.
Oregonic.
Oregonic.
Right. Yeah.
Italian grown too. It's oregonic.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that's it's kind of interesting because you've been doing this for decades now. Mm-hmm. It's kind of interesting to see all these things come and go. And what I find fascinating about what you do, Marty, is that you've got to put someone on the stage. And that's the proof is in the pudding. You either know what you're doing or you don't. And you've got people competing nationally with a massive amount of competition. Mm-hmm. And you either know what you're doing or you don't. It's not like you're a personal trainer and someone comes in and maybe lose a few pounds, which you can manipulate that through any number of different things, whether diet or workout or hydration or lack thereof. But your proof is actually in the pudding. So when you see all these things that go through the Hollywood cookies, all these things, over your period of time, has anything changed? Like your knowledge keeps getting more and more and more. I get that. But is there any, like, are there the fundamentals that you just do all the friggin' time?
Yep, there are. I used to put out a blog that said, what did I learn in the last year? And I would put out like either new techniques for training, or I put out like what supplements have come out that are worthwhile, or which supplements have come out that aren't worthwhile. But I will say probably the biggest thing that I changed from is that I did firmly believe in that keto was the number one way to get rid of the fat off of you. And that this was, 15 years ago, gotta be close to 2003 to 2007, around there. And then upon learning and studying more about the physiology and how, sorry, not the physiology, about like how the body works and how it burns calories and what it preferentially uses for, we'll just say energy. I won't go into a boring science lesson here, but I will, and that's why I say that I will preferentially take away fats before I take away carbohydrates, just the way that, especially for my modality in terms of putting people on stage, carbohydrates fuel muscle a heck of a lot better than fats. And people will argue that till they're blue in the face. However, it's a losing battle. Like they've tried to, like when I say that the researchers have tried to manipulate data, or they've tried to interpret data to say, no, it's just exactly the same, but it fails every time. And I will tell you, since switching we'll say, if I'm allowed, like my free reign over their nutrition, if I can switch for aesthetic reasons to more of a carb-based, lower fat-based, as opposed to a lower carb, higher fat-based, my results in my clients has been astronomically better. And I mean astronomically better. So that would be probably the biggest switch. Okay. And we'll say the last 10 years for me is that I'm more carbohydrate-based than I am fats-based. Let's say that.
Interesting. Because I think it's, like I said, the proof is in the pudding with what you're doing. Either it has to work, otherwise you're going to see the results. And what I appreciate about you is the willingness to study and learn, and not be dogmatic about, like, I did this 10 years ago, so now I'm doing this today, and I'm not going to change because. Yeah.
And it's called being romantic about it, right? Like I heard that a long time ago. It said, if you are romantic about something, in other words, you really like the ketogenic diet, but you get evidence contrary to the popular, you can't, to be a science practitioner, to be someone in my field, you can't do that, right? It's just, if you get better information that comes out and you ignore that because you're romantic about the ketogenic diet, well, then now, like, are you really serving, the population? But it's just not, right? That's kind of where things go. And it did suck in a sense to say, hey, I haven't been doing things optimally, but that's why I'm here. Where, like I say, I'm flying the airplane and fixing it at the same time, making it better. As I'm like, I can't stop the airplane, go do a sabbatical for 2 years, come back with all this new data. So I got to keep switching it, right? Just like for instance, my assessments that I do every week, like I will take out questions, put in questions, like just because sometimes I need to know a heck of a lot more, right? And like one of the, you got it. One of the ones I've added in the last year would have been even monitoring more stimulant intake, because I found that I had one gentleman from 5:30 in the morning till about 11, he wouldn't eat, and we'd have 5 pots of coffee, not cups, pots. And so, and I was wondering, oh yeah, I know. So, and I like did it out. I was like, I think that's something like 1,500 milligrams of caffeine. And I was like, no one, like just, and because he was like, I'm peeing all the time. I've got this. And I was like, what is going on? And so then, but that was lack of me asking for that information. So I was like, what is
ask? Like, hey, how many shots are you drinking?
And then, because then I always saw him with a cup of coffee, and he's like, do we have coffee here? When I was personal training, I was like, you just drank coffee. He's like, oh yeah, I have like 5 pots a day. So Lord. Now that's on there is how many frigging stimulants are you taking a day? Because it will affect things, right? Yeah.
No, one of the things I saw one of your videos the other day and listened to one of your podcasts. So I'd highly recommend, down in the description below, I'll put a link to your podcast as well.
Awesome. Thanks.
But I saw, which I get to, this brings me to, are people different? You were talking about doing how to get your biceps to grow.
Right.
And,
yes.
You know, somebody that dogmatic belief that it's got to be straight bar, it's got to be dumbbells, it's got to be cables, it's got to be whatever. Do you find, even when it comes to the nutrition side of things, is there some things that work better for other people? Is there in the reverse side of it is, well, no one's quite like me, which I, you know, how do you handle that?
So yes, everyone is different in a sense of the ideal meal plan, Chris, is the one that you can follow. And that's just the way it is. Like if I want you to, let's say, eat 30 grams of fats, I want you to eat 200 grams of carbohydrates, and you're like, Marty, none of the carbohydrate options I enjoy are fat-free. I'm struggling to hit that 30 gram. I'm going 40, 50 grams. So, okay, so I will lower the carbs to meet the fat, even though maybe it is more ideal for them to eat the higher carb and the lower fat, but because they're not enjoying it, which means they're not going to follow it, which means now it's not ideal anymore. So they're individual. That's why, remember when I said at the beginning, which diets have you done? Let's say they did the Atkins diet. Like, I really enjoyed that. So that says to me, they like, even though my belief is that this is better, but they'll do better on this. So I have to, and outside of health, like I said, that I will cater to them, because that's going to make them follow it, and that's going to make them happy. And that was the whole point of the also with the bicep video, was that if you don't enjoy the exercise, don't do it. Yeah. Like, because you won't want to go to the gym. And like people, and I pay attention to this all the time on my my assessments, when they say I have to go to the gym versus I get to, or I want to. If all of a sudden it turns into work, in their opinion, like, it's not like, don't worry, if anyone likes cardio, that's cool. I don't train a lot of marathon people. However, but if you have to go to the gym, and you have to go to the gym, that's a flag to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should want to, or I have to do deadlifts, I have to do squats. Well, then don't do them though. Really? Because now they're going to enjoy it again. Now they're going to want to go more, and then that's going to make them more happy, and therefore they're going to be more adherent, and that'll cascade the results much better than if the squat was ideal, or if the ketogenic diet or the carb diet was ideal. No, they're actually going to follow it now. Therefore, there's the results for sure. So yes, you're completely right for individualization. Yeah.
There's a book that I was referred to not too long ago, and it was about habits. I hadn't read the book yet, but I heard about it. And it was about creating habits. And the guy, types of reinforcement. There's negative reinforcement. I'll hit you with a stick if you don't do it. Positive reinforcement. I'll give you a reward if you don't. Social enforcement. So you tell the world you're going to do something. If you don't do it, there's the pressure. All that kind of stuff. So it's interesting to see. Do you see your most successful, and you're dealing with high level athletes when you're getting to competition training and stuff like that. Do you see incremental movements, like the small changes are the ones that actually make the biggest impact? Like, something you like, and then.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, let's say I have a vision inside my head of how they should look or what they should do, but I need to meet them in the middle. If they hate that, but I know that that's literally what they need, and I've gone through the dichotomy in my head, and there's no other way possible, it's one of those, look, can we somehow, like you said, make an increment towards that, right? Like let's make it silly and say they only do 20 plus reps in the gym. That's all they ever want to do. They don't want to do anything heavy. I go, okay, you only do 20 plus. Can we do 18? Okay, 18, cool. And after a bit, how'd you like that? Oh, it's like, okay, can you try 16? And like, just slow, because this is my 8 liters of pop analogy, right? Is that, and it's a habit based too, is that if someone comes to me and says, hey, I want to do a diet, and I've made up this fictitious story about someone's drinking 8 liters of full sugar pop a day. Okay, and so I won't say take out the pop, I'll say let's go to 6 liters. And they can go, oh, okay, I can do that. Yeah, they can, right? Because it's from 8 to 6. Now that 2 liters of pop is whopping. But now to them, it's like, because I didn't rob them of it. It's just like smoking. Anyone that tries to quit cold turkey, they have a much less success rate versus, down, whatever. And I'm a big believer in that, right? So, and also too, there's to quote one of my favorite people in the industry, Eric Helms, he says, you don't have to change a lot to change a lot. And that's exactly it. Because you don't have to change a lot to change a lot. And that because like for instance, let's say you're dieting and you're at 1,500 calories, whatever, and you go down to 1,400 or even 1,450. That's 50 calories, but that's adds up over time. What's 50 times 7 over the course of the week, right? So 350 calories, that will add up. And then it will sneak up on you, right? Because can you do that? Like that's just like, we'll go back to the 8 liters of pop, right? Can you, let's say 8 to 7, can you do that? Well, okay, well, you're the one that wanted to make a change, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, I can do that. And then, but yeah, as opposed to going no pop, no alcohol, no milk, you bastard. It's just not going to. But that in there to also to go into that, there you're 90% able to change something small, one thing, and then you're only 10% able to change 2 things at once. So just so like if I look at their plan and I see that they're everything, and the 8 liters of pop will go, that's the number. That's the only thing we're changing. There.
Yeah.
Touch that, and then next week we'll revisit and go from there. Because but if I say I want to change this, your job, get rid of your girlfriend, ditch your husband, the dog's gone because of this, and
it's not all of a sudden it's you go catatonic because you can't figure out what to focus on next.
Exactly, and but it's too much of a change, right? It's just too much. Yeah,
and that's the I think one of the analogies the guy said I want to do. I want to get healthy. I want to get, you rattled off to this guy, said, I want to get healthy. I want to get fit. I want to improve my marriage. I want to double the size of my business. Like all these things, right? It kind of goes from like, I want to go from here to be on stage. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Too much. What can we start with? It's the liters of pop, or in his case, he said he was going to commit to 1 push-up a day. That's it. Like, that's
perfect.
It. Perfect. That's attainable.
And that's it. Is it measurable and is it obtainable? It
just plummets right after that if you put too much on your plate. So is that kind of in the success that you've seen with your girls, do you see that where their focus, it doesn't necessarily start super narrow. It's kind of very broad, but then obviously as you get closer, it kind of narrows to. That's right. And to me, that's what would be, we'll call it good coaching, or I'll just use that as a blanket term, but like I kind of assess where their habits are at. If they've been measuring their food for a very long time, like especially let's say someone has done 2 shows and they've done well and now they're looking for a coach change and they come to me, they probably have. And if I don't ask them, I will say, what habits do you have? Well, I've been tracking my food I've been going to bed at this time. So I'll see, okay, what do we have? And then again, just like the 8 liters of pop, I'll go, okay, where is the habit that I need now? Okay, more cardio. Okay, no. Okay, and so it's almost like fine tuning music, like mastering the music. Okay, do we need more bass? Okay, no, need more treble. Okay, no, okay, turn the vocals up, and then I'll go, okay. And so I'm kind of the music producer in a sense of I gotta be able to literally listen to the client and say, where do I need to turn up or turn down? So a true band manager. I know, right? So there it is. But yeah, so the more advanced people, and what I mean by that is that it's not their first rodeo. They've done a couple shows or whatever. It's more. You got to listen to it more. Now they've already been in the music studio. They've already recorded a couple singles. How do I make Adele sound better? Yeah. Right. Does that make sense? Yeah, but then someone that's never been in the recording studio, maybe they need singing lessons. Like that's our start type of thing. Right. But that's it. So then again, it's taking a look at what is the worst habit they have and making that better. And that will make the most monumental amount of change. And that's that comes with skill. I'll say that would be probably the number one thing I've curated over the years is the experience of to kind of interpret biofeedback. How are they feeling? How are they doing? And go from there. Maybe it's a social circle. Maybe they go out to eat too much. Maybe they'll say, okay, you're going out 5 times a week because I've seen it. Going out to eat 5 times a week. Can we go out 4 times a week? Okay, and then they'll do that, right? And then the next week, maybe it's the 8 liters of pop down to 7. It's kind of progressive. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Yep. So tell me when we talk about the diets and the everything from whether it's a powder, it's a pill, it's whatever it is. Do you think that a great deal of, in presuming that some of those things have a success rate of some sort, whether that is whatever, do you think it's a good percentage of that success might be based on the fact that people are focusing on paying attention? We always used to say personal training, if the biggest keys is to get someone to do a food journal.
Oh, yes.
It almost matters less what the food is. It matters more that you're actually paying attention to what you're eating.
Yeah.
And these miracle cookies and all that stuff, do you think that, a lot of this success can be attributed to the fact that people are merely paying attention to what they're doing?
It always is. You nailed it out of the park there. Cause I do have people do a food journal and that you asked me, what are some questions I get? And that'd be one of the ones I get the most is, oh, well, I don't follow a meal plan. I'm like, okay, when I say food journal, I just mean a day in the life of Chris. Right. Or 2 days in the life of Chris.
What do you down your pie hole today?
What do you, and even that will make them go, because they don't necessarily know what they're eating unless it's an experienced person. Okay. And then they'll even know even more. Okay, I'm way off versus not. But the general population, they won't necessarily know that XYZ is bad or that they're consuming that much. And either I can put it into an app for them and kind of see what the calories say. Did you know you're eating 5,000 calories? And they're going, no. Or did you know you're only eating 800 calories? No. So and I'm not going to be biased either way, because I've seen dramatic under eating. Like the gentleman that had the 5 pots of coffee, he did not eat for more than half of his day. Yeah, and so exactly, and then he was going off of coffee for energy as opposed to calories for energy. But that's because the food journal will tell me a lot. And then on top of that, what's your past diet experience too, But what you're referring to is called majoring in the minor. So they'll be looking for the Dr. Oz supplement, but won't even take a look at the amount of calories they consume a day. Which that is the governing thing. I'm not just picking on calories. I'm saying they won't look at their macronutrients. They won't look at protein, carbohydrates, fat. They'll go, no, I need raspberry ketones.
Yeah, right. At the exclusion of paying attention to anything.
Yeah, and nothing else. Like they'll ignore their physical activity. They'll ignore their total calories. They'll ignore their sleep. Like we talked about that last time, right? But that's it. Is that and that's called majoring in the minor, and that's the pyramid thing, right? Is that the very, very basis is got to be total food volume. I don't care how much you work out. I don't care how much cardio you do. Is that food will dictate everything, and if we at least know that, then we can change that. The supplements are way, way, way up in terms of like the last thing. Like it's almost like reverse pyramid. Like you need that foundation. The foundation is your food. What the heck are you eating, right? Yeah.
That can torpedo everything.
Everything. Well, because and cardio is blown out of the water in terms of how many calories. Like thank you, the friggin' meters on the cardio machine will say you burned 1,000 calories. Oh, did you? Yeah, no, you didn't. And there's no way you do. So let's put it this way. A very, very hard hour-long cardio session might be 350 to 400 calories. Might be. That's a slice and a half of pizza.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna.
So then when you negate that entirely, and so that was an hour of butt humping, busting work.
Yeah.
And you just completely negated that by food. And that's it, because people overshoot how much, because some of the machines will say, like I said, 1,000 calories, not even close. So and that's one of the I didn't come up with the quote, but it's a quote that I like to say is you can't outwork a bad diet. You just can't. Especially for females, you girls get the short end of the stick, because not only do you not have the testosterone of a male to be able to have more strength and to be able to burn off more fat naturally, but you girls just can't eat as many calories as a guy. So that 350, whatever. So as a general rule, ladies, just times your weight by 10. You weigh 150 pounds. You usually burn about 1,500 calories doing nothing. If you just sit, so that 350 calories, think of that's whopping. Whereas a guy, 200-pound gentleman, it's usually around 11 or 12 for him. So he's going to burn 2,400. So you get 1,000 calories. Just throwing numbers out here, less a day. Ooh, man, does that make it hard? Yeah. You know what I mean? And then you just don't. So you can eat that so easily. A Starbucks latte is like 400 calories, for God's sake, and that's just snap. That's drank.
Yeah.
And as a side story, I know I'm talking a lot, but I had a girl, a lady. I remember Angèle, one of my favorite clients I've ever had, and we had her diet, and she was eating it, and she was gaining weight. And I was like, okay, let's adjust this. And before I know it, I had her down to like 1,200 calories. And she was a taller girl, strong as heck. I was like, what is going on? And then one day,
you
saw her walk in. I was like, what's that? She's like, oh, it's a something. Looked it up, 350 calories, and she was having 4 a day. So it's 350 times 4. So she was doubling her food. And she was like, and then I said, there it is. And so now that's the food journal became more imperative. That was 9 years ago, right? So that became more imperative. So then, and then all of that, there's no protein in that latte.
Nothing.
Right? So that then she was like, oh my God, am I really having like 1,600 calories? Yeah.
You're drinking
1,600 plus 1,200. So it's 2,800 calories. And that's how quickly that stuff will add up. So, and there's no way cardio going to get that off.
Yeah.
I wish.
Now, some of the stuff what you are, because I've been through this as well. So when you're building up and and you specialize and do a lot in the pre-competition, which is kind of when you're trying to whittle everything off.
That's right.
But when you're trying to, in the building phase, that's a little bit different. So does it not boil down to
thermodynamics?
Thermodynamics. You have to, if you want to lose weight, you have to burn more than you put in.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if you want to gain weight, you got to keep in more than you burn.
That's right.
Is that kind of like as simple as it gets?
That is right. And so that's like that is
literally, doesn't matter if it's a pill or a wrap or nothing.
So there you go. So if you boil it down to just that, let's say 2,000 calories, just make it easy. And so then if you eat 1,800 versus a 2,000, you will lose weight, not fat. Weight. And then if you eat 2,200 or more, you're going to gain weight, not fat, not muscle, weight. So then that's when the composition comes down. We'll say famous question I used to ask people is that, do you believe that 2,000 calories of steak is the same thing as 2,000 calories of ice cream? And they would say, well, no. I said, now they're both 2,000 calories, right? Mm-hmm. But that's when the composition of the fat versus muscle will change, and that's the whole point of the macronutrients. That's the whole point of ratios and things like that, is that if you are looking for such a desired look, those have to change, right? If you are interested in competition, you do have to have a little bit more protein than the average Joe just to facilitate the muscle building and or fat loss. And so that's why like 2,000 calories of steak is not 2,000 calories of ice cream. And so therefore, and can you imagine, so just to go off topic, well, not off topic, sorry, but can you imagine if you were to eat, let's say, 2,000 calories of ice cream and then go do 500, let's make it obnoxious. 500 calories was how much cardio burnt. Can you imagine if you could like eat ice cream on the treadmill and it just burnt the ice cream? But it can't. Your body will pick always what it wants, so you can't do that. That's why, like, if for someone, like, let's say you ate Christmas dinner and you went hog wild, oh my God, I gotta go do the treadmill afterwards. Your body isn't gonna go, oh, okay, we'll just burn the stuffing and keep the turkey.
Yeah, the pumpkin pie goes.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that, and that's why it's you can't. Not only that, but then that's a whole other psychological thing, that now the gym is punishment, and now that's like no, and that's just, I don't even want to go there. But that's it. Is that the composition of the calories, it matters, because it does boil down to calories in versus calories out for the most part. But then you need to obviously pay attention to where those calories are coming from, or else your look will be complete. And that's when skinny fat came out, right? Is that like you can lose weight, but that won't necessarily be muscle or fat. It's going to be preferentially what your body wants to do, unless you force it, aka doing weight training, resistance training, having this much carbohydrates, this much protein. And that's where I have a career.
Yeah, ta-da! Woo!
Yeah, right. That's it. Yeah,
light goes off.
Yeah, right. Yeah, strobe light. Yeah.
Yeah. I think all this stuff is fascinating, because that's one of the things. I had run marathons and done endurance.
That's right.
Triathlons and stuff, and after you do that for a while, your goal might be to be big and ripped.
Yeah.
So maybe it goes the other way around. You're big and ripped, and then you go, I really want to.
Oh, it does. So I'll cut you off there, because I've said so many ladies that have done a show and now they're hikers. And I'm like, you go for it. They're like, I've done the show. I thought that was cool. I want to do something else. And it's just activity, right? And I've got to be a thumbs up supporter of that, because you're being active. And what did I say about the workout and what did I say about the food? You have to enjoy it. Yeah. So if you don't enjoy competing anymore, stop doing it. Maybe the love will come back. Yeah. You don't know. But then no pivot out of that, because they'll be like, oh, Marty, I'm so sorry. I'm like, what are you sorry for? You're telling me what you love. Yeah. So now we can. I love it. Yeah. And now we can make you better at hiking. Yeah, right? Absolutely. Like the only thing No, that's right. Like I've got a couple girls. Hailey, she loves doing Spartan races, right? Like the Mud Hero and things, and so her diet is geared towards those kind of things, because she at one point wanted to do a bikini competition. Her body just said no, and there's just some people that just genetically do not want to do it. Like that's why me and you aren't currently Arnold. Yeah, right? It's just not like we can try, but she said, you know what, and it was not going the way that she wanted to. She was having to borderline kill herself to get down to, and I said no. So we both put a plug in it. So then she started doing these Spartan races, and she's a tall girl and she's a strong girl, and so now she's killing it at those. And so now her diet shifted more towards doing that. And funny enough, she actually does use the Keto OS, the BHB salts, because she feels really freaking good when she does her cardio with them. So why aren't we using them, right? And so that's it. Yep, you got it.
That's excellent. Is there and we could go on for days and days. I guess what's interesting is the supplement thing. Is there a flags to throw up or things to look for, things to
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. I call them the bodybuilding supplements, but you can call them the fat loss, or we'll call them physique alteration supplements. Don't spend your money on them. Just don't. Like, this would be things like branch chain amino acids. They just don't. Things like CLA, that doesn't work. Just anything like that. Most fat burners, like basically fat burners are glorified caffeine. That's what they are.
What did we talk? What was the one that's been around for Hydroxycut?
Oh, there's Hydroxycut and Xenadrin. Yep, those are ones back in the day that they like, because how does fat burners work? That you'll take them, you'll get more energy, therefore you get up and do more crap. So now you're increasing something called your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, your NEAT. So now if you get up and you move around, that's gonna do a heck of a lot. You burn double the calories standing up than you do sitting down. Double. So that's huge. Like your NEAT, like let's say your NEAT was 400 a day sitting, it's going to be 800 a day standing up. And so what did I say how much cardio will do about that 350, 400? So just standing up, like how people now have their work office, they can stand up at that thing. Yeah, like that will. And so that's the stuff that matters is NEAT. So that when you took the fat burners, there was nothing fat burning going on, but now you were
active.
You were doing more stuff. Yeah, you were active. So then that's how they work.
Down. Yeah, exactly.
So if anything, I would, because I used to manage a supplement store 10 years ago when I was first getting going on my personal training, and the amount of stuff that I found out either wasn't working or was just glorified stuff, like outside of, so the ones that do work or the ones that I do recommend would be a very high quality probiotic. I think that works very well to keep your stomach happy, get everything that kind of the body's losing in that sense in terms of the healthy bacteria. A good protein powder, if that's your thing. If you want to supplement your diet and you don't either consume enough meat or just it's not your thing, a good protein powder goes a long way. Creatine monohydrate is one of the most studied supplements there are on the planet. The two supplements that will work every time that they say they do is caffeine and creatine. When you take caffeine, it will wake you up. If you take creatine, it will increase your muscle size, your muscle recovery. And so there is some people that are called non-responders, but even ladies, I say 5 grams a day. That's it. Just pure. It's I think $40 for a year. So it's the dirt cheap supplement. It works. Any brand is good.
Is that pill form, Marty, or is that powder?
You can get a pill form, and I just shy away from them just because they usually now they're more expensive. And then you've got the magnesium stearate in the capsule, but just creatine monohydrate powder. People, I'm going to gain water weight from it. It goes away, and just keep your hydration going good. Keep your salt levels going good. And so on top of that, that's really about it. Then it's kind of basis to basis for vitamins. Like if you go to the doctor and you're low on vitamin B12, well, let's supplement with B12. You go to the doctor and you're low on iron, let's look into some natural sources of iron. But other than that, in terms of cosmetic supplements, we'll go with that. Cosmetic supplements, like the classic Dr. Oz ones, the green coffee bean, raspberry ketones. Yeah. No. But Marty, they work for me. Yeah, sorry, and it's not running anyone down. If they work for you and you want to keep going with them and they work, that's fine. Just there's much better things to, we'll say, spend your time and money on for sure. Yeah,
like trips in the space shuttle, perhaps.
Like trips in the space shuttle.
That is outstanding. That's good stuff. Is there any chance? I know you're constantly packed anyway. Is there any chance we can get you on for a 3rd episode?
Oh, yes, of course.
Come on!
I would love to.
Come on!
Yes.
We'll keep doing this. And there are some other topics, I think, and we're going to ask some of our ladies at Savvy Pants Shop if there are any topics that they want to touch on, because you're a wealth of knowledge when it comes to it. And and we'll definitely look at some of the common things in the internet and the social media pages.
Oh, yeah. Like whenever I bring out the myth-busting shotgun, here, 1 second, don't go anywhere.
Loving it. There's got to be, I see it coming. Oh, nice. That is no joke. Do you have that registered?
When the Mega Gun comes out.
Holy cow.
Right? This is the Mega Myth Busting Gun. I got this for Christmas.
Holy crap.
I know. It just sits up there. This is my myth busting gun, and I love whipping it out.
We're going to have to do a myth busting gun series. That's
because that's it, right? Because there's like even a couple quick ones or something like branched chain amino acids will save your muscle. Nope, that's been proven wrong. Branched chain amino acids have no calories. Nope, they do have calories. It's just a loophole from the FDA so they can put on their tub 0 calories. Just things like that. Like I love smashing those myths. Or as in, if I lift weights as a girl, I'm going to get bulky. Sorry, you don't have the testosterone. And if you do get bulky, train me. Because I want to get too big. Train me. I will hire you. You will take all my money.
That is fantastic.
There's just things like, and I love doing that too, because there's been like, I've been scammed either by supplements or by bad information on websites or whatever. So I love doing that stuff. So yes, if anyone's got any kind of stuff like that, absolutely.
That at the very least, we'll do a myth busting show then, because I think that would be fantastic if you could steal you away for some more time. Obviously this week is a crusher for you. And I know you've got a lot of competitions and stuff coming up. So we'll give it a little bit of time between 2 and 3, but we'd love to have you back again. Mega Marty, we can find you on Instagram where?
Yep, at Mega Marty Coach.
At Mega Marty Coach. And your website as well?
Just megamarty.com.
Megamarty.com. So if anybody on here is like, and we have no affiliate agreement or there's no financial arrangement between Marty and I, just go there because I think he does a phenomenal job with what he does. So
thanks, Chris.
No financial incentive to send on our end to send you there. Just we think he's a super smart guy and knows what he's doing very well. So follow him there. If you guys have any questions, there's all the links down below in the description. If you like this, go ahead and like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button to let us know that you didn't like it.
That's right. Yeah, that's feedback. It goes right there. If you hit that thumbs up, it just knows how to tell. Yep.
It'll tell us. So you got 10 thumbs up, but actually 8 of those were people that were just saying that they didn't like it. So that works perfect. Mega Marty, you are the man. I appreciate your time. We'll do it again soon. Savvy.
Thank you, Chris.
And we'll talk soon, my friend. Be good at it. See ya.
See ya.